I wanted to try and do something different here. This isn't a fishing video, this isn't a how-to video, this isn't a gear video. This is me wanting to talk to you about fishing photography, which in many respects I probably love more than actually fishing. I obsess about trying to make fishing look good. Now, I've photographed all around the world, all kinds of fish, all kinds of places. I am seriously lucky. But bass fishing, at the end of the day, that's what I do, that's what I go and do, that's what I love to photograph the most. And look, of course, big bass are hugely impressive fish. I have to photograph that kind of grip and grin shot like Mark here from last year with a big double figure bass. But it's the, what I call the fishing action shots, the angler or anglers on location, you know, in beautiful light or crashing waves or a good looking place, and the kind of the motion of fishing and casting and landing fish and the motion of the waves, the sky, the environment. I love like you cannot believe the photography of fishing. I wanted to talk you through how this photograph here came to be, because for me it's one of my most favorite bass fishing photographs. It says every single thing about bass fishing that I want to say. So I'll talk you through the day, the photo shoot, how the photo came to be, and let's see where we go. And my apologies if this video falls flat on its face, but look, I love fishing photography. Before we really get into it, I'd like to ask you if you'd please consider subscribing to this YouTube channel. Thank you very much. This is the 30th of December 2016, and this lad here is Jody. He's from the north coast of Cornwall, and a few of us are fishing together in some pretty heavy conditions, which I love for fishing, but I also love for photography. Bear in mind, I'm like Jody here. I'm fishing myself. I've got rod, reel, I've got a rucksack, I've got all my lures at my side, but in my rucksack, as ever, is camera gear. So I'm fishing, you know, I want to catch fish, I want to try my best to catch fish, but I'm also always looking for photographs. Now, you see a photograph differently to how I see a photograph. That's the beauty of photography. You know, whether it's with a camera, you know, big camera, whether it's with a phone, doesn't matter. We all see the world differently, and I'm always looking for photographs when I'm out fishing. You will see my eyes going left, right, ahead, backwards all the time, because there might be a photograph. And here, things just started to get interesting. Jody has no idea I'm photographing him. You know, he knows, obviously, I take photographs, but I'm shooting with a long lens, a 70 to 200mm f2.8 on, I think it was a Fuji X-T1 camera body. But I want the guys, you know, just fish. We're all just fishing. If I see the photograph, it's up to me, the photographer, to move around and shoot it and, you know, let the guys carry on fishing. It's what we do. I think the most natural photographs are when the guys you're fishing with, guys or girls you're fishing with, they don't even know you're taking pictures. And here, things just started to get interesting. The light started to look pretty good. The waves, I love crashing waves. And I was watching the guys, and Jody happened to move to a position to fish that I thought would start to make, you know, a half decent photograph. All I'm trying to do here is put angler in the environment and shoot stuff that I could then, you know, use in a magazine article or in a blog post, but I just need those those fishing shots. So we start shooting here, and let's see where it goes. I'm positioning myself to shoot some simple, you know, angler, fishing, environment, waves, sky kind of shots. But have a look at this second shot here, and, you know, Jody's fishing. He doesn't know I'm shooting him. But I like the difference when that wave breaks. You know, we've got a hectic sea going on here, but obviously some waves are bigger than others. And, you know, every single wave breaks differently. So I tend to shoot a lot of photographs because I can. It's digital. I can edit later, you know, cut them back. But I tend to like it, you know, as that wave starts to form and then starts to break and all that wonderful kind of white turbulence starts rushing in, putting the angler against that with a long lens, which also kind of helps with that compression effect. It's looking like Jody is much closer to those waves than he actually is. Look, he's in no danger. He's a long way from any kind of danger, but that long lens gives that kind of immersive feeling. I really, really like shooting what I guess is, you know, the motion of fishing. And for us, you know, lure fishing and fly fishing in a big way, that is casting. I love the rod moving through the frame, the compression on the rod. You know, with fly fishing, obviously, you know, casting is a huge thing, and I would argue it is with lure fishing as well. And I tend to, you know, when it's like this and the conditions are going off, you know, the light's interesting, the waves are really pounding, and I'm hoping, you know, I've put down my fishing gear. You know, I should be trying to catch fish, but I can't, because I so want to and love taking photographs. So I'm lined up on Jody with a longish lens, and he's fishing, he's casting, and I'm hoping, because still, no, as I said, he doesn't know I'm shooting him. I'm hoping that he times a cast with the waves getting really interesting and big and wild and white and tumbling. So I'm shooting and shooting and shooting. I've set my camera to shoot 10 frames a second to capture that full casting sequence, and I'm waiting, I'm shooting, I'm waiting, I'm watching, and then lo and behold, Jody does what I hope he's going to do, and bang, he puts a cast in exactly when I've got the waves how I love to see them. This photograph here, to me, proves that you can't fake it. You can't fake fishing. In many respects, I want this to be, oh wow, Jody's just hooked a fish, but look at it. You and I both know that he's snagged up. He's fishing a paddle tail, bumping along the bottom on a very snaggy reef, and he's snagged up. I've shot it because part of me thinks, oh, could I use that shot as angler into fish? But you can't. You can't fake fishing, or at least I can't. You know, fishing either happens or it doesn't. He's snagged up. It's a shot, you know, I can use and say one day, oh, this is what happens when you bump a paddle tail along a reef. You can snag up. But it's not angler into fish. It just can't be. On the technical side of things, as I said earlier, I'm shooting what is essentially a 70 to 200mm lens, and most of these photographs are shot using an f2.8 aperture, and that gives me a correspondingly high shutter speed, which allows me to stop the action. You know, I can get the bent rod, I can get the waves in perfect breaking formation. And also that f2.8 on a longish lens is helping me slightly blow that background out, because the focal point of these images is the angler. For sure, look, they might be slightly kind of landscape or seascape shots, but at the end of the day, the angler is what draws your eye in. He or she is in that environment. I need that angler to be pin sharp focused. So I'm focusing on Jody's head at f2.8, and then I'm working around him to shoot the photographs that I need. Now make no mistake, I absolutely love shooting wide. I love wide angle photography, but here I'm trying to place the angler almost in amongst it, and that works with a longer lens. Plus also, as I will talk about one day in the future, I'm often trying to hide where we're fishing, and a long lens helps hugely. The shots you're seeing here, to me, are, they're perfectly fine. They're nice, standard fishing shots, but you'll notice the quality of the light is not so exciting, I suppose. But because I'm fishing myself, but I'm also photographing, and the guys or girls are fishing, I'm trying to almost, I suppose, work my way around, almost photographically, to where I think the best shot might be. Earlier on was easy. Earlier on in the morning was easy because the light was kind of soft and lovely and just sort of really worked with those waves tumbling in. Now the light's got a little bit harsher. It's not so exciting. It's not so warm. So I'm still shooting because, fishing's fishing. And obviously, as an angler and a photographer, I'm always hoping that one of the anglers will go and hook a fish. We can never predict when fish are going to turn up. Anyone who says they can, is lying from a fishing point of view. Fishing just happens. And then trying to photograph something just happening depends on, a day like this when I have gone as an angler, as a fisherman, it depends on me kind of also having eyes in the back of my head, trying to be in the right place at the right time, just in case one of the lads goes and hooks a fish. And even then, beyond that, I've got to hope I'm in the right position, because if I go running across these reefs, across these rocks, I am going to fall flat on my face faster than you can blink. As I said earlier, this is a fishing day. I'm not pushing the guys around, I'm not asking them to stand somewhere, but I've kind of worked myself as a photographer around to a position where I think I can best line up the angler against those waves. Now this is a fairly big swell rolling in, but swell, you get sometimes you get longish kind of calm patches, and out of nowhere it starts to explode again. And then, all the time, fishing photography, apart from when you're shooting, the nitty gritty, I suppose, when you need and kind of want fishing to happen, i.e. angler hooks fish, that is luck. We can't predict it. There's so much, I'm shooting Jody, hoping, and then bang, he goes and hooks what turned out to be the only bass of the session. And okay, photographically, I'm exactly where I want to be, right place, right time, partly by chance because I could have been fishing myself. But then when he hooks that one fish of the session, not only am I where I want to be, but maybe luck favours the brave, I don't know, but I've also got the swell has built again and is starting to crash, and it's given me that drama, that kind of excitement. And this is what led to me being able to shoot a sequence of photographs which a couple, one particularly, stand out as my thing, my every single thing that I want to say about bass fishing. So now we're in the realms of me, the photographer, trying not to shake because I'm so damn excited. Every single thing is going off. Bear in mind, as I said, Jody, I still don't think he knows that I'm taking photographs. He's fishing. He's hooked a fish. He's trying to land it in some really hectic conditions. And I'm lined up and I'm kind of pinching myself, shaking with excitement, trying to hold the lens, the camera still, because I don't want to get blurred shots. It's kind of every single thing I could hope for going off right in front of my lens. I shot a whole load of photographs because, you know, why the hell wouldn't you? It was epic. From my point of view, the photographer, okay, the fishing was quiet, but this was every single thing I'd hoped for. And of course it helps massively. You've got an angler here, Jody, who is not afraid to put a bend into his rod. You know, if that rod, the fishing rod, is not properly bent, to me, it takes away impact. So everything's got to come together, but it very rarely does come together, which is why I think one of the biggest kind of, I suppose, skills of fishing photography, aside from all the technical stuff, you know, knowing your ins and outs, how to work the cameras and the lenses, all this sort of stuff, the real crux is knowing when to shoot the living daylights out of it. And it wasn't actually until I got home and put the photographs onto my computer and then started checking them, you know, to edit out the rubbish, I noticed there was 1 or 2 frames when everything, and I mean everything, come together to the point where, as I'm showing you in this one main image here, everything is where I want it, where I hope for it to be. The angler, you know, his knees are even bent into the fish, the rod is bent over, the waves are crashing, the white water's going gorgeous, and the final kind of crux, the final thing for me was what makes the photograph pop to me, just that kind of 1% more. If you look in the bottom right hand side of the frame, you've got the bass just popping out of the water. So because I need a shot of angler plus fish to kind of tie everything in, I shoot a quick grip and grin, which creatively, you know, doesn't really do a huge amount for me. You know, it's angler plus fish. It's not even a big bass, which doesn't matter, but as you can probably tell, it's the fishing action. It's the angler in location doing what they do when things go off, when everything comes together. And damn right, just like fishing, you need a huge amount of luck. When it all comes together, that is why I love photographing fishing above almost anything else.